Hello students, now in this video we will discuss about the diffraction of light, and first of all we will discuss about the definition of diffraction of light. Diffraction of light means it's a phenomenon in which the light bends at the sharp corners, and after that it will be spreading into the geometrical shadow region. So we can write the definition in such a way that the phenomenon of bending of light round the sharp corners and is spreading into the regions of geometrical shadow is known as diffraction of light. But this diffraction of light takes place only when there is one important condition when exists, and the one important condition is that the wavelength of the light, it should be comparable to the size of the obstacle. Means the size, the object that will become in front of the light, that's the size of that particular object, it should be comparable with the wavelength of the light that will be incident on it. Then after that condition, the light will be bends at the sharp corners and is spread in the geometrical shadow region and in the form of dark and bright bands, and that such phenomenon is known as diffraction of light. So this is the most important condition, and in this after that we will discuss here the diffraction at single slit. It's the most important article, and in this article we have to first of all make that set up a diagram. So we have to set up a particular experiment just like in a diagram. Here is a one S monochromatic source of light. It is placed on the focal point of the lens L1. It's a convex lens. So when light is incident on the convex lens L1, it will be parallel to the principal axis. And a plane wavefront is incident on the slit of width A, the slit AB of width A, because it's a narrow slit. So when the light is incident in the form of plane wavefront on the narrow slit, it will be bends at the sharp corner of that particular slit, and the light will be spreading into the geometrical shadow region. So these light which is passing through that particular narrow slit AB, then according to the Huygens principle, secondary wavelets are produced, and these secondary wavelets are incident on the lens L2, and due to that lens L2, when the wavelets are parallel to each other, they will be incident on the screen at point O, and at that point a central maxima is obtained. But when the lights make some angle theta, because they will be bent make some angle theta, and when these lights incident on the lens L2, so these lights are brought to focus at the point P on the screen having a distance y from the point O, so PU will be equal to y. Similarly here, the distance between the screen and the slit AB, say it is equal to distance D. And after that we can find out the position of the width, position of the minima and the maxima that will be obtained at the point O. Actually, this central maxima is obtained. There is a one condition that is known as the rectangular propagation of light. So when there is a rectangular propagation of light, then the central maxima is obtained at the point O on the screen. Now we have to discuss here the position of the minima and maxima. So first of all we have to start here for the case 1 position, and we have to find out the width of the minima. Now to find out that position, so we have to consider here at point P, suppose a dark band is obtained when the light is incident at the point P. Now to find out that value, we have to draw a perpendicular from the point A on the that ray which is bends from the point B of the slit. So when we draw a perpendicular, that AN is a perpendicular, then on the BN, so BN will be equal to the path difference, and this path difference here will be equal to, it is equal to, in the first case, Z is equal to lambda. So we have to start here in number one condition. In this condition, when we have to assume here the P point having a dark band, means a secondary minima is obtained at the point P in the first case. So it will obtain only when the B and this path difference will be equal to lambda. So if B and path difference equal to lambda, and this angle through which the light bends and then incident on L2, this makes an angle. So suppose if theta equal to, for first condition, Z is equal to theta 1. Now in triangle ABN, in triangle ABN, we have to find out that path difference. What is path difference? So in that condition, we have to find out the value of sine theta. So in this triangle ABN, then sine theta n1, that is equal to then perpendicular upon hypotenuse. So BN upon AB. So this is equal to BN upon AB. Therefore, BN path difference will be equal to AB sine theta 1, and BN here we have to consider it's a lambda in the first situation, and AB is a width A, that is equal to sine theta 1. Therefore sine theta 1 equal to lambda upon A. Now this is the condition of the first secondary minima. This is the condition for the first secondary minima. It means the dark band is obtained at the point P when the condition is sine theta 1 equal to lambda upon A, and this condition will exist only when, if we assume that the slit AB, the width of the slit AB, that is equal to A. So this slit, if it is divided into two equal parts, so when it is divided into two equal parts like this, suppose a point C, so when the light is, secondary wavelets are produced from the point A and from the point C, similarly from the point B, so they having the path difference lambda by 2 and lambda by 2, because the total path difference equal to lambda. So in that condition, the light will be incident on the screen in the opposite phase, therefore minima is obtained. So this is the assumption. So in that condition, we have to assume here the slit will be divided into two equal parts. Now the second condition is, in second condition, when the path difference Z is equal to twice lambda. So in condition number 2, if the path difference equal to twice of lambda and angle theta equal to theta 2, again we have to find out the value in the triangle ABN, so that sine theta 2 will be equal to BN upon AB, so it is equal to twice lambda equal to A sine theta 2, A sine theta 2, therefore sine theta 2 will be equal to 2 lambda upon A, and this is the condition of second secondary minima. It is the condition of second secondary minima. Now in that situation, we have to assume that the slit AB is divided into 4 equal parts. So it's a point C and D, and width is, that is the same equal to A. So we have to assume here it is divided into 4 equal parts. It means the total, this path difference, again having the path difference lambda by 2 for each part. So when it is divided into 4 equal parts, so the value will be divided into lambda by 2 like this. So it is the next part, last part, part 1, part 2, part 3 and part 4, and this is the point B say it is C, D, E. So at every part, the path difference equal to lambda by 2, and we added all the lambda by 2 plus lambda by 2 plus lambda by 2 in 4 times, we will get 2 lambda path difference. So the secondary wavelets, they will be, when they are superimposed to each other of the AC part and CD part, similarly for CD, CE and the EB part, they will be superimposed to each other in such a way that they will be intersect in opposite phase, and when they are intersect at the point P on the screen, again the dark band is obtained here. It means we have to obtain the secondary minima. Now this is the condition. Now similarly we can find out for the third situation, for the fourth situation similarly, and after that we have to find out the value for the nth situation. So if Bn equal to n lambda is the path difference for the nth dark fringe. Again in this same triangle, if theta equal to theta n and Bn equal to n lambda, then sine theta n will be equal to Bn upon AB, and that is Bn equal to AB sine theta n. Therefore n lambda will be equal to A sine theta n, and we can find out the value of sine theta n equal to n lambda upon A, and this is the condition for the nth secondary minima. So it's equation we have to consider here. Suppose say equation 1 here for the nth secondary minima. Similarly in triangle COP, now in triangle COP, in this triangle, so this is the distance PO upon this CO. So in triangle PO upon CO, that is equal to tan theta n. So tan theta n will be equal to PO upon CO. Here is PO equal to the distance y. So for the nth that is dark band, say the distance will be equal to yn from the point O to P, and CO, that is equal to distance d between the slit and the screen, capital D. So similarly we have to find out theta n, say it is equation number 2. Now if theta is very small, we have to assume here, if theta n is very small, if it is very small, so tan theta n, the value, it will be approximately equal to sine theta n. So when these two values are equal to each other, then we can find out the value like this. Then from the first equation, n lambda upon A sine theta n. From the second equation, sine theta n will be equal to this, so it is equal to yn upon d. Then after that we have to find out the position, that is yn. So a yn will be equal to n d lambda upon A. Now this is the position of the nth secondary minima. Similarly we have to write the condition for the yn minus 1 situation. So for the n y minus 1, it will equal to n minus 1 d lambda upon A. And if we have these two equations, that is equation number 3, and it is next equation number 4. From equation number 3 and 4, we have to find out the width of the secondary maxima. So these are the two important equations to find out the width of the secondary maxima. Therefore width of the secondary maxima, width, that is beta of secondary maxima, width of the secondary maxima, that will be equal to the distance between the spacing between the two consecutive dark band, means two consecutive secondary minima. So we know the conditions for the two secondary minima, yn and yn minus 1. So beta will be equal to yn minus 1, and we find the differences between them, and d lambda upon A minus n minus 1 d lambda upon a. So we will get the formula, that is d lambda upon a, m cancel by m, and that is equal to beta, and this is the width of the secondary maxima. It means by the conditions of the secondary minima we have to find out the width of the secondary maxima, because secondary maxima exist between the two secondary minimas. Therefore this is the width of the secondary maxima. Okay, now in the next video we will discuss about the positions of the secondary maxima and then find out the width of the secondary minima. Okay, thank you very much.